Yo. Yo. Let's go, guys. I wanted to show you something cool. $6,222. All right. Guys, welcome to another live stream. I am pretty excited. We haven't really done anything besides Blender for the longest time. And Ashes of Creation just came out with a brand new update. So I'm really looking forward to that. I don't know if it's a good one or a bad one. We might skip around a little bit just to get to the good stuff. But yeah, let's do it. Also, I got a brand new camera. I'm really excited about that. Everything should be moving a lot smoother. Things should be looking a lot better. So yeah, let us get started. Let me pull up Ashes of Creation here. It's crazy to me that lately we've been getting way more views than Ashes of Creation. I know that they're gonna have a huge spike with this release. But it's cool to see, like, they have 145,000 subscribers, and I guess they don't put out content that often, but it's cool we're in that same sort of range. That's pretty cool. And my camera died. What the heck? Guys, give me a second here. My camera just died. Why did it die? All right. Let's see. So, hopefully we won't run into any more of those problems. I'm still figuring out stuff, so there might be some technical issues. This is my first time streaming with this camera, so we'll have to see how it turns out here. Okay. Ooh. New sort of animation. Wait, guys. Wait. My camera again. What is going on here? Let's see. Give me a second. Let's see. It should still be excuse me, it should still be putting out okay. Bum. Yeah. Why it's freezing like that. If it freezes again, we might have to do like a no camera stream. Or we just gotta make sure it freezes in like a really good spot. So, yeah.
Hello, everyone. How are you doing?
Hello.
Salutations and welcome to our glorious Ashes of
Hey,
Creation
guys.
January development update. It is already 2022 and it's the end of January. How are you feeling about that, Stephen?
Oh man.
We're just gonna cut
over to the studio
right
update.
to it.
And Stephen, what do you got for us? You're not in the studio today.
No, I mean I will be right after the show,
Yeah,
but
same.
I had some calls this morning and I kept trying to like get off the calls, and then I didn't, and it was like 2 minutes before the show and I jumped onto this. You're like, Stephen, where were you? We were
I
about to go
know. I
live.
was like, I'm about to add 5 more minutes onto the clock, and people are going to get their bingo card.
I
The community
know.
made like a little bingo card of things. It's pretty funny.
I
I like
know.
it.
I'm sorry. Studio update's great. Things are going very good in the start of this new year. We did some awesome hiring this month. I think we hired six additional new people in January.
Wow, hiring six
Very
people is pretty
excited for
impressive.
those individuals to join the team. They're incredibly talented, and a lot of seniors in that group. So that's fun. We're going to be kicking off some more hiring endeavors as we start this new year. We have a lot of aggressive
All right.
goals from a growth perspective for the company, and pretty excited to see that come over the next few months. Additionally, the teams have been hard at work at the start of this new year with the migration over to UE5. We officially now have the entire studio team
Wow.
moved
As
over
of
to
Monday.
UE5 as of Monday. That's right.
Yeah.
Yes, as of Monday. So that was very
Cool.
excited. Of course, the engineering team led the charge on that over the last few months, getting the code base moved over to UE5 and working out the bugs and kinks as part of that process. So very, very proud of them and their hard work. Additionally, we've made some adjustments actually to our project management structure with the introduction of some new individuals, particularly Jacob on the production side, transitioning our sprints to a more story point based system, which has been kind of exciting for the teams at the studio to switch over to. I expect good things to come from that.
And for people who don't understand what a story-based a system is, it basically uses like the Fibonacci sequence and kind of breaks down tasks instead of them being like specifically like, I'm going to do this.
The Fibonacci sequence? What's the Fibonacci sequence? Yo, Zarina. Welcome to the chat.
1 hour. It's like, it gives you a little bit more leeway.
Sure, it's more indicative of the complexity of a particular task rather than a one-to-one on time. That gives us great tracking, the ability to be more predictive as part of our future-looking roadmaps internally, and we're pretty excited about that process. A little bit more granular in that sense. So things are going pretty good at the studio. A great start to the new year. Pretty excited for what this year has in store for us, and this January was a nice kickoff for that.
That's true.
Yeah, so we're rock and rolling.
Good space.
For those of you who I know you always ask about a studio tour and things like that, we are still waiting on a few pieces of furniture and also what I like to call the beautification of the office. Basically making it not look like an office, you know, giving it our own little intrepid flair and adding some more art and plants and making it cozy. So
you know, it's pretty good. Yo, Ryan, what is up? Welcome to the stream, man. Good to see you in chat. Grab some popcorn, sit back, relax. We're just going to chill a little bit. We're going to watch this video, react to it, and this is a game I'm really looking forward to, so hopefully it turns out really well. I think it's crazy to me. I wonder how much funding Steven has had at the beginning for all of this, but they're hiring like hundreds of people. This is a brand new game studio. They're not making money. I guess they're making money on their like they're like selling early copies of the game, which I'm not a huge fan of, but it is what it is. So it sounds like everything is going really well for them. They have a huge office, hundreds of workers. They're hiring a whole bunch more people. They're buying furniture and like stuff to make the office look cool. Like, how much money does this guy have to run this company? I don't know. This is crazy.
So we're going to be making those changes over the next few months. And then when we're ready, we will start doing some videos. Of course. Yeah, let's talk about design stuff. This is where there's a lot
this is my favorite part.
Design and engineering are doing so much. So
yeah,
take a deep breath, Stephen.
That is too funny. I've got to tell you, actually, it's been, you know, I've spoken about this the last few live streams, that a lot of these discussions after we came out of Alpha 1 on reiterating over some of the systems and designs around those systems. has been a great time. I mean, we have, of course, our large design discussions that we hold in our conference rooms, and it definitely gets lively, a lot of passionate voices around some of these ideas. But yesterday, just as an example, we were talking a lot about kind of the management of the economic systems within the world and how they relate to nodes participating in those economic systems, whether or not they get to exert pressures over certain material markets, what those material markets look like from a mayorship perspective. Do I have to account for, a number of resources that I am keeping track of versus, those trade relationships with nearby nodes and the types of resources that they might need to begin, certain public initiative.
What would be a cool system to have the nodes interact with like the trade markets? It makes me wonder if there's like nodes in specific locations. Yo, thank you so much for subscribing. Heretic Gamar Sani. Thank you. I hope you're enjoying the content, man. So like, it makes me wonder what that would look like. You might tell us in a second, but maybe there's a node right next to a volcano, right? Like we know there's a big volcano in the game. I'm pretty excited for that. Just from the screenshots and stuff that I've looked at, it looks pretty dang cool. So I wonder if there's going to be like a node next to the volcano, and there's like some resource you get from the volcano, whether that's like lava or ash or like some resource that you can mine or harvest from this volcano. And I wonder if that node could have influence on that. And so if you destroyed the node, you also destroy the resource or the output of the resource. Maybe it increases as the node increases. I don't know.
Projects
we'll have to see.
And
my camera died again.
The player population, talking about spigots and sinks and where we want the predominancy of economic volume to occur between player to player transactions and having that kind of closed market system. This was a lot of fun in defining the variables and the specifics around those things, and that's been a lot really of what this process post Alpha 1 has looked like as we've gone through the data, as we've gone through the community feedback, as we've gone through kind of re-architecting the more fleshed out portions of these systems for Alpha 2 and what they look like, and getting to see the designers on our team, which we have incredibly talented designers across, Corey and Chris and Trad and Brian and Jason and Jeremy and Bucky and Naomi and Chang, and we just have really an incredible Mike. Incredible. I know. I'm so sorry.
Someone's gonna feel left out, Steven.
What is up, man? Oracle the White. Hi, Adam. How are you doing today? I'm doing really good. I decided to take a chill second and watch this video. I'm excited about it. My camera's down. I'm gonna try to fix it behind the scenes, but I'm doing really good. Welcome to the stream, man.
I know. But
also, what happened? How did I select all that?
We have an incredibly talented design team, and I've loved really getting to get into the weeds of all this stuff with them. Obviously at the outlook of Ashes of Creation, I have all these kind of, grand macro ideas around systems and pulled from inspirations of the games that I played as an MMORPG player and what I thought they did best. But, getting really the diversity and thought amongst our design team, being able to contribute to parts of those, micro level specifics in each of these systems has been a lot of fun. So design's been hard at work at that. In addition, obviously the prototyping and working towards the changes across combat. Excuse me. Very excited to kind of debut that stuff to the community, get additional feedback and iterate upon that again. Design's been interfacing with animation, with VFX as part of that process and planning out what these different iterations of combat are going to actually look and feel like, right? So that's been a lot of fun. Additionally, having over the last few weeks, really getting into specifics about how we want to re-architect some of these class structures, where we're placing certain types of abilities, what the bread and butter of each of these archetypes actually looks like, how they're going to fit into the progression of up to level 35 in Alpha 2, what interactions players are going to have in Alpha 2 with the augment system and the ability to
I just wanted to try out
redefine a little bit of their role and kind of flirt that holy trinity, so to speak, presenting the opportunity opportunities of hybrid classes, have a lot of discussions and planning around.
I've been watching so much GTA RP. So you forgot to watch this yesterday? Yeah, I haven't watched it either. I'm looking forward to hearing about it. We might skip around. Usually with the design section, I like to hear what they're doing, but really we're looking at the environment update and this character art update, right? So we'll get to it.
About that. So that's all fun. I mean, there's just so much that's intended for Alpha 2. Really gives a very big picture of what.
I'm using the Canon M50 Mark II. It's a brand new camera. Like that's why it's not working today. Like if we go here. I'm not exactly sure. So we'll see like how much longer. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I forgot. When we're looking at my camera scene, you guys can't hear me. But yeah, like I can get my camera. Yeah, in the last scene it doesn't work. Yeah, sorry. Sorry about that, guys. I have a Canon M50. It works just fine. Like the camera's on, it's still functional. And I have the output using the Elgato capture card. But for some reason, once in a while, it just stops working. The capture card. So all I have to do is go, and you have a chat relay? Yeah, like Oracle and Ryan want to use like Oracle's on Twitch, Ryan's on YouTube. So yeah, all the chats are combined into one place. So you guys can both see all the chats. Yeah, it's weird because it's working just fine. It works like fine for quite a while, and then all of a sudden it will just stop working. So let me see. I don't know how to fix that. I never had that problem before, so we'll have to do some troubleshooting to see why it stops working after a while. I call it the stream version of crossplay. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I wish it looked neater, right? Because I don't know. I wish it like shared user profiles and all that, but we'll see.
Of what the game Ashes of Creation is going to look like. So, we're making sure that we're getting all of our ducks in order when it comes to, planning out how we want players to interface with these systems for Alpha 2. And it's going to be pretty exciting, I think, to see people play it.
Yeah. I know people are going to be super hyped to see some of those prototypes coming in the next few months as you are ready to showcase them.
Oh, did I accidentally leak 35?
Yeah, you did.
Ah, shoot.
35 what?
Of up to, level 35 in Alpha of their role and kind of flirt those that limited. But what we were talking about was how during like sieges or castle sieges or node sieges, you're going to have certain instance locations where it's only going to be a group that's designated to participate versus another group while the siege is happening. And I know in the past we talked about, well, how do you plan to incorporate these more objective-based waypoints as part of these larger events and say that not only is it going to be a complement of numbers in the overall grand kind of battle perspective, but there's also going to be opportunities for smaller, more niche groups to participate in more focused objective capturing, right? And a part of that is going to be, small, very short, kind of 10-minute long instance battles where groups can go and participate against other groups that are defender versus attacker, and the outcome of which will influence certain aspects of the overall battle while that's still occurring in the background. Those types of interactions, I think, are going to be a lot of fun. That's a discussion that we had a little bit on the design side. Of course, that's going to get fleshed out a little bit more. Whether or not we see that in Alpha 2, I'm not sure if we will, but it is part of the design and how to incorporate those smaller group-based objectives as they work in concert with the overall larger battle. So just, I think, interesting things.
Yeah.
just adding more detail to like the castle sieges, the buffs. Like think about the last castle siege footage we were looking at, how there's like dragons that you could kill that gave buffs. So his question is like, what are like mini objectives like that? And or his, not his question, but his point. They were just discussing that. So that's pretty cool. Hear the
Very
progress on
I
that.
know people love hearing. The more you can share with them, the more they're going to be happy.
Yeah.
I know that on the design front, the one thing that you guys are super excited about is combat. And like we said, we'll be showing off some of the new prototypes for those changes coming soon. There's also a lot of AI infrastructure that they're working towards too as well. Which
Absolutely.
I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about that.
Sure. Yeah, we were actually just talking about this, as part of the AI tools that designers get to work with. Excuse me. I was having a discussion with Corey as he was presenting kind of the function of hate and hate tables, how leashing works behind UIs, how different behavior trees are going to be possible at either variables that will have different types of reactions from a skill perspective on the AI. For example, if you're, attempting to train monsters, the ability for there to be a small percentage chance of different types of ability usage by those NPCs that are not exactly predictable, right? Those variables make things a little bit more interesting, a little bit more fluid, more reactive from the player's perspective. These are capabilities that the AI is intended to have and will be online for Alpha 2. I think that's going to present to players a little bit of a different moment-to-moment kind of combat that they aren't typically used to in MMORPGs because the activities and behaviors of the AI are a little bit more predictive in the games we've typically played. But I think this is going to be a nice addition to the type of interactions that players can expect to have in Ashes of Creation. That's going to be a lot of fun. Not to mention that AIs will exist within certain factions in the game. We're a non-faction based game. However, we present a lot of opportunities for pseudo factions to arise, and that's just not from the player's perspective, but it's also from the NPC perspective as well. So how players interface with those NPCs within the nodes, with those individual factions, whether or not you can even have those factions perhaps vote in certain elections. So there might be some quest-based / reputation-based activities that you can perform with NPC factions within a node to add them to the voting structure of the mayorship, right? For scientific nodes. I think that's kind of a cool dynamic that provides an alternative to the just standard voting aspects. That's kind of cool. But yeah, there's a lot of cool AI stuff that we're working on.
Yeah. And when we're ready to share some of those things along our journey, we definitely will. So stay tuned.
I like Omdat said Stephen is leaking more than my kitchen sink. You might want to get that. You might want to get that checked out, Omdat.
All right. I think that if you don't have anything else you want to share on the design or engineering front, well, engineers also working on the character creator backend stuff. I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about that. I know it's character related, but
yeah, I
the
think
thing that is that like everything kind of touches all the things. So
a lot of things touch a lot of things. That is true. Yeah, no. Are we on design or we're doing engineering with design?
Design and engineering. I kind of group together.
Got it.
They often engineering stuff can't be shown until design is interacted with it. So I could usually clump those together.
Yeah, engineering has been doing a lot of work. Outside of obviously the UE5 migration, which is obviously, a big chunk of work that needs to be done. Clayton's been working on the materials. Zach and Adam have been working on the character customization options. And I just took a look at that actually yesterday. Zach has done an amazing job with different parameters that are adjustable, the deformations that are possible, the customization of the character's face and body. I mean, it's just very in depth. Now, obviously, it needs some UI love, and it needs to be presentable in a visible way, but the parameters, the technical side of what's capable, working with the character team, with Jinsey, with Chris Atkins and the animators, adjusting these facial parameters so that they can be super customizable has been really interesting to see. And I'm pretty sure we're going to be able to showcase a little bit of that work in progress next month. But the intent is to have one of the most customizable options from a character creator perspective in an MMORPG. And I think the engineering team is hitting that mark. Zach has been leading the charge on that. It's really exciting.
I do want to preface, though, that it will be in the early phases for showing it off next month. The UI is definitely not the final UI.
No.
There's still some work that needs to be done. So
no, I think the cool thing about, you guys, what we have a little over 3,000 people watching right now. We have developed, I think, a rapport as part of this transparent development process where we as developers are comfortable showing you guys work in progress, and you have on the networking changes that we've been implementing in anticipation for Alpha 2, getting all things network related, excuse me, in a spot where we're going to really see some awesome interactions and performance on the server side for Alpha 2. So super excited about the work that they're doing. There's been a lot of work on the back end, on our platform, on our microservices that Mark and his team have been working on. Mark, Rich, Eric, and Tuan. Very excited for.
We did have a update that you guys probably saw. That was just to fix some bugs. There's still a few others that we're looking into in regards to like the web front. So if you're experiencing any of those issues, move on to
all right, guys. Let's get to it.
Art update. So moving on.
I can't hear her. Can you guys hear them?
Some of the adjustments to testing.
It should be fixed now.
Oh,
okay.
Strange.
There we go.
Yeah, it was muted, turned off. You should be all
We're
good
back.
now. Dude, look how crazy the chat is. They're like, you're muted. They're losing their minds.
Look at these boats. Was this Harold that worked on these?
I believe so. I'm not certain.
These Viking boats look pretty cool.
Names on everybody who worked on all the things.
Oh, on environment.
Yeah. Or environment, not engineering. Sorry.
They're making boats now.
Yeah, engineering is making boats now.
Oh, this is Brandon. I'm sorry. This is Brandon McDonald. He made this boat.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And we have a 3D version to show you.
Not bad.
Now, of course, this would be one of the very early boats that you'd be able to acquire in game. And he calls.
Yeah, it's like a personal vessel. Like I'm so excited for the water content when it comes to Ashes of Creation. I'm really looking forward to just being a pirate out on the seas. That's what I'm looking forward to.
What is this one? This is the Huculaire.
But this looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
For like a personal little
like
dinghy.
I'm not sure how to pronounce it.
Alicia, first time hearing about this game. Looks neat. Thanks. I don't know why I said thanks, but yeah, I agree. Like Ashes of Creation is looking really, really good. This is just an update, so you're not even really seeing gameplay. Let's see. Oh, we were getting some cool stuff there. So it doesn't look like they have a video of gameplay. I have lots of other videos about Ashes of Creation, Alicia, though. So if you're wanting to actually see gameplay and see how it looks, take a look at those.
Huculaire.
Also, my camera is doing fantastic. I keep looking at this screen to check on my camera, and it's holding in there. I have no idea why it's like was struggling before. Oracle, I can't wait for Alpha 2. Yeah, man. Alpha 2 is gonna be really fun. We're gonna live stream it a lot. I haven't purchased it yet because if I'm gonna purchase Alpha 2 for like a couple $100, I want to make sure I'm getting a good cosmetic pack with it. And I honestly hate this whole like pre-purchasing cosmetic pack everything. Like I think it's kind of stupid. But I'm really looking forward to this game. So if that's the only way to do it, then let's do it.
Huculaire. Yeah, it looks very good. So this would be the one that you kind of
Guys,
get early on.
Remember what I was saying about my camera being totally fine? And right after I said that, it broke. That was fun. Yeah, I have no idea what's going on. It's honestly kind of frustrating. So, if it happens too much more, then let me see. If I deselect the camera here, yeah, we're like still. I have no idea.
Working your way up, of course, should you choose to take that path in creating larger boats, this would probably be one of the first. You might take it out to go, certain fishing spots, or to, travel out along the coast as an alternate path from a land route. But this would be a relatively easy one to acquire early on.
Yeah.
And to be clear, these types of boats, these smaller personal vessels, would not require, I'm fairly certain here, would not require an established harbor that's connected as a point of interest from a node location, right?
Like you could just go off on the side.
Right, exactly. These would probably be capable of being both constructed and launched from any portion of the land, of the coast. Thank you.
Okay.
Maybe just not in the land in the middle of the
right
nowhere.
No, just a land dwelling.
Can you imagine a land boat?
Yes, exactly.
It'd be pretty funny.
Instead of a Flying Dutchman, it's a flying rowboat.
Don't tempt people. No, there'll be some people who be like, my immersion. Moving on from there, we've got some cool lighting fixtures and little bits and bobs.
These are some dwarf
team.
Junior stuff.
There's always working on more props.
I know Hal always does such a great job with these props. I think this is Adam that did a coffee table along with Brazier Work in Progress.
Here's the coffee tables.
Yes, love these. Beautiful. Furniture, such an important aspect of the game.
And then Harold also made the barriers, defensive barriers. Getting some siege goodness in here.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
See the back of it. And as well as a fountain.
Fountain?
The fountain. And then the big thing we have here is kind of showing you some of the road system tech that Brian Gans is working on.
Oh,
so I'm going to
see this.
Note that these videos are not the highest quality of video, but you're getting a little behind the scenes of seeing how the road system tech is going to work. So kind of showcasing this. It's basically a work in progress preview. It shows off how how we'll be changing the landscape from grass to natural elements to the different levels of roads, because there's going to be different types of roads. Like when it starts out, it'll be dirt road, and it'll change into be more
so what you're seeing here as Brian is manipulating these different volumes, you can see in the kind of center to center right area a small line of a road. What this is wanting to do is, as nodes advance, right, these pre-laid kind of road spots that exist connecting every possible route between certain node structures is going to adjust and adapt both its material presentation, the type of road work that's present. It'll move from this more dirt road type to perhaps a brick laid road to perhaps some super ornate beauty.
I wonder if you can see this live when it happens, or does it just happen every 10 minutes and just a road will appear? It was kind of cool watching it paint through.
Beautiful, metropolis style road that will adjust around the world according to how these node structures begin to populate and advance. That's obviously a very important thing. Roads aren't just something that's visually beautiful in this game. They also have very specific mechanical implications. The speed of caravans, the movement of mounts between nodes. These are all relevant structures.
Wait, so your mounts move faster on roads? I actually kind of like that. Like, that's one level of detail that I haven't had in any other game. Like, usually mounts just move the same speed whether you're on roads or not. I like the idea of having you being able to move quicker on roads, because you'll be able to interact with more people. Like, if roads are like a central place where people are like moving and interacting, and then when you leave the road and like trek off, like there's less and less people. Like, I kind of like that. I like the idea of having this long, like a highway that everyone uses, because it makes you travel faster. And like, you can just imagine like bandit camps, like camping out, whether that's you as like a guild or like enemies, like hiding out on the edges of roads, like waiting to take over a caravan or something. I don't know. I can see the potential.
That have game design implications and mechanic implications. So it's important that, not just visually we're updating the road sequence to make sense, both from a, advancement of the world structure, but also that you are able to identify which roads are going to be most complementary to the movement of your caravan, let's say, right? Or the structures between nodes and how you can move with your mount. These are pretty important aspects.
Yeah, and to kind of give you some understanding here, the node influence is depicted by these like circles that you're seeing.
Yeah.
As they move and scale across the road, that's how you're going to see these road types change. So those little circles that you see around that he's moving like the spawn point type of thing, and the circles are the thing that are altering and changing. And you can see as he's moving it around how that's changing the road path.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It's really, really cool. And obviously lower level nodes will have, things like dirt roads and things like that, and we'll move into cobblestone and brick. So it's very exciting stuff, and being able to showcase that a little bit from the tech side.
I like it.
How the automation is going.
I think it's great. I think it's a great.
Hopefully you guys enjoy seeing that. If you like it, let us know. We'll show you more stuff like that.
That light was just a little bright.
That's it for environment art, and we can swap over to the big one, which is character stuff.
Oh man, okay, this is what I was waiting for.
Oh my gosh,
let's go.
Wait, what are we? Yeah. Now I know we have a few. Okay, so to preface,
the one that they've never seen before is we're going to start.
Yes. Oh, we're going to start with that one. Okay, got it. Okay. All right, so to preface this, of course, as you guys know, art is always a work in progress. We oftentimes go through first passes, and that'll be good enough for a particular milestone, or what we're attempting to achieve within that within that particular presentation. And then we'll come back and we'll fix things up. We'll do a second pass, we'll do a third pass. We might update some skin materials. We might do some, changes to the base body. Hopefully not too many changes there. But what we want to do as part of this kind of reveal is, of course, we're going to be revealing one of the new character races, and we haven't said which one yet. But in addition, we're going to show you some updates that have been done also to some character races that you've already seen, and how just different they look now as a result of those second or third passes.
Awesome.
And I think that's going to be pretty exciting. I know It's always been,
and reveal of a 3D model for a couple that they've never seen 3D models for. So
I think it's in the community, it's fun to, like I said earlier, it's fun to always watch the progress. But in the character models specifically, since like 2018 or 17, you go back and look at the character. No, please, it's so funny. Go back and look at the character.
The eyes. What is going on with their faces?
Go look at the character models from like 2017, 18, the Kalar or the Empyreans, and there's some great community memes memes out there about it. But ever since, Atkins.
Oh, one of our staff members also dressed up for Halloween as that starting character too.
Oh yeah, I know.
Was that Bucky? I think it was Bucky.
I think it was Bucky. It was so great. But ever since Atkins took over as lead character artist, the character team has been doing an incredible job. I mean, there's such great talent over there between Eli and Jinsey and Chris and Keith.
You started naming.
I know, darn! I need to stop doing that. And everyone else on the character team, the whole team. I know. But they've been doing a great job. So let's reveal. So, who is this race that we're gonna show?
Right. The first one we're gonna show is the reveal of.
Oh, we don't have to show yet. Wait, hold on. Wait, don't show.
It's funny because I was looking at this picture and I thought she changed this picture to this, and I was like, oh no, what has happened?
I haven't shown it yet.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
let's
this
go.
is the Vec. So what do we know about the Vec?
Okay, the Vec. This is the orc race. So there's 2 orc races. The Vec are like astrological. They like look at the stars. They're really magical. They're more goblin-like than orc. But I think they're still classified as orcs. But they're smaller. I don't know. We'll see pictures here in a sec.
Right. The Vec are these star.
I almost hit the button.
I know. I'm sorry. The Vec are these stargazing sub-race of orcs that kind of delineated away from the original Kai Vec,
It's a sub-race of orcs. How are orcs and goblins related? Like, aren't goblins? I don't know. I haven't looked at like the Tolkien lore for goblins. Yeah.
A protectorate that was this, large orcish kingdom prior to the fall and to the exodus of Vera, and the Vec continued about their focus on the stars and how they could glean the best uses of the essence and be predictive of the future and that almost astrology aspect of what Vera has available to it. So let's take a look at the Vec.
All right, let's go.
Dun, dun. I feel like I need to do like a
have
sound
some
effect.
like a sound. Yes.
Oh
wait, no, not that one.
Not that one. Drum roll.
Yeah. Yes, drum roll.
Drum
Totally
roll.
drum roll.
All right. I'm just kidding. All right, here we go. The first reveal of the.
Is it like full screen?
Oh. What do you guys think? I kind of like it. It's kind of like the pointy ears are giving me like goblin vibes. I have to see their whole body, but it's almost like an elf and an orc had a baby. But I kind of like all these all the piercings and the tattoos.
Oh no, it's like cyber. Oh yes.
The quality, it reminds you of Trolls. Yeah, like I feel like the quality of these art pieces are really good. I think the art itself is really nice. I'm just trying to think like lore wise and like RP wise how I feel about this. It looks weird, but it's unique. Yeah, Mantis, by the way, welcome to the stream, man. Yeah, I agree. Like, it looks different. It's not what I was expecting at all. Like, I was expecting more goblin or like more of a classic orc, like a smaller classic orc. This is totally different than what I was expecting, but I think that's actually good. Like, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm really liking that it's unique and something that I haven't seen before.
So these are the Vec.
Okay.
And what you can see here, obviously, is you can see the male Vec and you can see a female Vec. There are.
I like the piercings, like. So we have lots of piercing with these like little green, I don't know what they are, leaves or spines or something like that. But you also have like the bumps, like the the bumps, which is kind of cool. Mantis, thanks. Been a hot minute since I've hopped onto one of your streams. Been working on my own game. Wow, that's pretty cool. You should, when you have updates on the game, you should share it in the Discord. McKenna Cantu, they kind of remind me of Avatar people, but more insane. Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah, I actually agree with you. Reminds me of the blue Avatar creatures, but less fantasy, I suppose. Yeah, maybe. They're kind of like the evil avatar
are some
features.
significant, body influences and differences, especially when it comes to the ears, the nose, that brow structure that delineates them away from the Renkai.
Okay.
Those are the main things. Where there are some similarities where you can still see that orcish presence, it's obviously the underbite that's present, the kind of teeth structure that's available,
Okay.
those more kind of tribal influences across the face artwork that's present. But these guys, I think, are a major distinguishing factor between what players are accustomed to in general player character races, like humans and elves. Those are relatively standard, right? There's not too much you can really deviate here.
Yeah.
But the Vec gives us an opportunity from an orc perspective to really kind of play towards influences that aren't typically seen in orc races, right?
Yeah.
Almost an alien look with especially the color of the skin tone, that kind of bluish.
Oh, just wait till I show you some other ones.
Yes, now
we got some variants.
Oh, okay.
I love the variant. Show me the big bug-eyed variant. I want to see that one.
I don't know which one that one is on here.
I want to see the bug-eyed. So these are going to be
studio mode it. One sec.
Oh, okay.
So the character creation is going to be like super detailed, right? You're going to be able to model your face and your body like how you want it with these. Obviously within limits just for the race. So yeah, I'm interested in these other variants as well.
Okay, I think I know which one it is. I will swap to that one for you.
So now the hope is that these types of variants that you're about to see are going to be
What the heck is this? Okay, so the green Okay, so I don't know if I would ever play this guy, but I love the fact that I'm gonna see this guy out. You know what I mean? Like, it kind of has a Mayan vibe. So all these like piercings, I guess, is like green jade almost, which is pretty cool. This guy looks ridiculous, but I love the fact that you could change your character in a way to get this guy. It makes me happy that there's that level of customization,
customization options that are available.
Wow.
Almost somebody said burn it.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, no, he's not scary. Look at his pig. He's got puppy eyes.
I love it. Aww.
He's just
it's
looking
straight up
for
alien.
a friend.
He just wants to kiss you.
Yeah. Look at
with
his little teeth, little tusk teeth. But of course, you can see that there are still similarities, right, between some of the facial features. But this would almost be an ethnicity within the Vec culture. A little bit of a
Someone's like, who needs a telescope with those eyes? Someone said that in Discord.
Who needs a telescope?
That's pretty good.
Hey, that's why the eyes maybe progressed like that. They were always looking at the stars, right?
Oh,
so they're trying to take in as much.
I appreciate that they seem to have taken time to make the extreme sliders look realistic. Yeah, and not just goofy. Like, this looks goofy, but it's not past that line, Like, I can see how these sliders are pushed to the extremes. The ears are huge, the eyes are huge. He's got like the really long neck. But you're right, it's not too far goofy where it's not like like Skyrim or Fallout or something like that where you can make like just straight up goofy people. Like, it all fits within the bounds. I like it.
Light as possible. Yes.
If they can see further than everybody else, that'd be cool.
Right. The more dilated the eyes are, the more they can take in exposure-wise in the darkness and looking up at the stars. I mean, these are elements of their evolutionary path that influenced kind of their visual presentation.
I really like these.
All right, we have another
somebody
version.
Said they're the grays.
We have another version for you all as well.
Oh no.
Which looks bad.
Guys, my camera died again. Wait one sec. I'm wanting to make this into a video, so I gotta make sure my camera is working. Okay. I don't know why. I don't know why, like, every 20 minutes my camera, it just stops working.
He looks cool.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. Now here you can see, I think would be a little bit more similarity with the Renkai, right? And the shape of the brow and the shape of the eyes. They're almost
less
cunning.
muscular though.
Yeah, absolutely less muscular, but the features, what they're presenting from a personality perspective. I mean, you have a very cunning brow there, right? Like,
I really like the ears. Like, I like the style of the ears. It's almost like there's hair coming off the edges of the ears, but just the shape with the lobe and all the cool Mayan looking stuff. I don't know. It's interesting.
that is something that's important, in their presentation.
I love it.
Yes.
Sick. They're pretty sick.
You guys will have to go and comment after our live stream. Go on Twitter, go on the forums, go on Reddit. Give us some commentary on what you think about the Vec. Did they live up to your expectations?
Yeah.
What do you like about them? What do you wish you could change? This is I personally love them. I think they look great.
They're very different from our other races, which I think is important.
Absolutely. It is very important.
If there's
Yo, Wuberto, what's up, man? Wow, this is so interesting. Look at you changing it up, man. Welcome back to the live stream, dude.
If you're looking for a different type of race, then there are other options for you. But if this is your jam.
One important thing also that's distinguishing about the Vec, and this is something that we'll be showcasing later, is that their base idle stance, the stance that they have is going to be a little bit more contorted, right? It's going to have a little bit more, odd language across the shoulder structure and kind of their stance and how they kind of move about. And one of the main reasons for that is because, when we think about a threat assessment perspective, when we think about you coming across other players in the world and being able to identify and distinguish between the different races at a distance, almost that silhouette profile, right? The Vec share their height with the Kalar and the Valoon a little bit, right? They're very similar in height to the Kalar and the Valoon, but we needed something to distinguish their silhouette, and that thing is going to be how they stand. What their posture, what their stance looks like. Something that's going to be very exciting also to show in the future, once animation has an opportunity to give us these variants, is going to be that base idle animation when you're just kind of standing, not in a combat stance, right? Not in combat, but when you're standing outside, non-combat idle, that you'll have different stances and forms that you can choose at the character creation point, right? Whether you walk in a more masculine way or a more feminine way, or perhaps, you have these different types of movements to your base idle, non-combat idle. That's going to be something that we want to offer as an option as well.
Whoa, that's cool. Wait, so is he saying you can customize all that? Like, you can customize your walking stance, your idle stance? If so, that's really cool. No, hey man, how's the update this month? Oh, it's good, man. Like, I don't think we're gonna get any like gameplay, like any video, but seeing this new race, the Vec, it's pretty exciting. I'm glad that it's so different than goblins or orcs that I've seen in other games. So I'm liking it.
We'll expand on that further in the future when Animations had an opportunity to provide some of those variants, and we can internally test that. But that's the desire. Might change in the future, but I think we're capable of doing that.
Yeah, it'd be neat as you're doing your creation of your character, being able to choose your idle animation and make yourself a little different than everybody else.
Absolutely.
I think people will
That's really
that.
cool.
Speaking of our orc friends, who are very similar but different.
The Renkai?
We have shown the Renkai before in a similar manner to how we're showing the Vec, but now we have the 3D model work in progress for you all to see.
Okay.
So
That's
I'm
right.
share that
And fun note real quick, actually, the Renkai themselves, excuse me, the Renkai models will actually be part of our next milestone within the next, I think, month, we're going to have them now fully fledged in game with armors and everything that's playable internally as we do our QA testing and as we do our milestone testing. I know that's on the sprint for character, and that's why you guys are getting to see the updated models on the Renkai, because we wanted to go through that second pass on their skin materials, on their face. And keep in mind, as you're looking right now at the Vec, like what facial features the Vec have. Yes, as you see the Renkai, you can see kind of the differences in the facial structure.
So the Renkai are like the legit orcs. They're gonna look like orcs. Caxit, welcome to the live stream, man. Great job. Thank you so much.
Now the Renkai also are yeah, you can show them. Okay. The Renkai are big boys and girls, so they're the tallest player character race that you can have in the game. They're also very buff and very meaty.
What do you guys think? This was not what I was. First of all, the skin tone was not what I was expecting. It kind of looks like a dwarf. It looks like a dwarf with a head that got smushed. Let's see if they have
these
other
big, imposing Beastie silhouette. Boys. They're Beastie Boys. Well, wait, that's okay. Probably that's a
he is a Beastie Boy. He's pretty ripped. Like I don't mind the muscles. I mean, look at those shoulders. Holy cow. I just don't know how I feel about the face. I feel like it's too human. Like when I think of orc, it's a little bit more orc than this. This is making me want to go back to the gym. Yeah. Yeah, you and me both, man.
Isn't that a musical group, the Beastie Boys?
Oh, yes, yeah, that is a Beastie Boy.
So they're not technically Beastie Boys, but they're beast-like boys. No. But you can see the features here. These are very large. If you were to put a Vec next to a Renkai, the Vec would almost stand probably at just beneath the chest, just beneath his pecs.
Really?
So, these are big boys.
Okay.
Girls.
And then we have another version of them for the male. We won't be showing the female quite yet, but maybe in a future live stream you'll get to see that. So stay tuned. We will be showing females of other things. So.
Oh, this one is the Asmonbald version.
Oh no! Look at these, like, I don't know what these muscles are, but he has
no, just
huge neck.
I'm just kidding. I just love Asmongold. No, I'm just joking.
Sonic on Z. What is up? Hello from Twitch this time. Wow, you're just hopping all over the place. Welcome, man. Welcome to the live stream. Everyone, guys, grab some popcorn, sit back, relax. We're just having a fun time. We're just gonna chill today. We're probably not gonna do much Blender. We're just gonna watch this update.
Do we have some? We have some close-ups on the face, right?
Of the orcs, not the orcs, but
what on the Renkai? I thought we did on the Renkai. Did
not
we have
on the
close-ups?
Not on the Renkai. I don't have.
Oh, we can do somewhere.
But we can definitely share some more on social and stuff. So stay tuned for lots of goodness. The next thing that we have never shown is the Nikuan dwarves. And so this will be the first time you are going to get to see them as well. And I don't know if you want to preface anything in regards to that, Steven.
Oh, on the Nikua? Yeah. So obviously, excuse me, one of the biggest feedbacks that we had out of Alpha 1 was the representation of the Dunir versus the Nikua. And that was great, really, information that you guys, testers and audiences out there, provided us, kind of what your anticipation was of the Dunir, more traditional.
So is this pattern on his body, is this like a tattoo pattern, or is this like how their skin is, like it's kind of scaly?
Traditional Dwarven presentation versus the more innovative approach to Dwarven society and the Nikua, and being that more almost Polynesian influenced beach dwarf, so to speak. So I just got someone shared me a file. Oh, that's a different one. I'm sorry. So we took that advice, we took that feedback, and we went and we made some adjustments, and we delineated the differences between the presentation of the Dunir versus the Nikua. So are we showing the Nikua or the Dunir one first?
Nikuan first.
Okay, so the
Nikuan I'm showing all the new stuff, and then obviously Dunir.
McKenna says, I was just wondering that too. It looks like he has scales. Yeah. I don't know. Like, I want to... We saw so many different variations of the Vec orcs. I want the same thing with this one, because to me this just looks like a big human with giant hands and a tiny head. So it doesn't look as orc-like as I was sort of imagining.
We are going to have new models too, but they've seen some more of that than they have the others.
Awesome.
All right, here we go. Here we are.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I think this is what happened in my brain. Because he's the exact same scale as this guy, okay? He looked like a freak. It looked like one of the Titans. Wait, let's see this transition again.
That feedback, and we the presentation. So the
I'm showing all the new stuff, and then
awesome.
Okay, here we go.
Here we go. Here we are.
Why is it so funny? I think it's just the juxtaposition to the orc. But okay, so this is dwarf. So we have to remember this is way smaller than the orc guy. Got it. Okay. Okay.
There we go. So you can see that, and you'll get context for this in just a moment.
Okay.
Once the
they look like gnomes, people are saying.
A little bit, right? So once you see this Nikuan body type, and you see, this Nikuan presentation. Who's Tyler? What do they keep saying Tyler for?
Oh no, Tyler one.
Tyler one he's a Twitch streamer. So.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He's a content creator.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
That's
it's okay.
terrible. So Tyler one's a Nikuan, like in real life, or what is that?
No, he's not.
No.
But they are saying that he looks similar.
Okay, got it.
He's a very buff dude.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't know that reference. But you can see here, right? This almost has, the proportions of his body isn't that indicative of a dwarf, right? Of a traditional dwarf. And instead it has more of that halfling look a little bit, right? It has a little bit more halfling. And this is kind of similar to what was in Alpha 1 for the Dunir, but you're going to see significant differences.
Let's show them the Dunir, because they're upset, I think.
Yes,
but we need to show you context that, like, there's different bodies for different people. Not everyone wants to be the stocky dwarf.
That's right.
Here we go. So this is the dwarves that you all, I think, are wanting.
Now this is the
different
Dunir.
type of race. Yeah.
Yes, and you can see in the Dunir.
This guy looks freaking sick, man. He looks like he's down for business. Man, his mustache.
Dunir, you can see
this guy's looking cool.
The update to the skin material and textures, like it is.
Yeah, man.
This is a major update.
Whoa, I love the detail, the hair and everything on his nose.
For the Dunir, and these are the more traditional dwarves. You can see here. This is some of the in-game achievable armor that they're wearing, I believe. Right? This is cosmetic armor. Yeah, I think this is the in-game achievable armors. But you can see the quality on that second or third pass that we've done here with the Dunir.
Look at this guy's freaking muscles. His like forearm muscle is just a freaking like softball right here. Yeah, this guy's looking real sick.
They look like, and compared to the Nikuan, right? The Nikuan race we want it to be different. We want it to stand out apart from the Dunir. And in that sense, that's why you have those more halfling-oriented influences. Whereas here you can see in the body type just the discrepancy in what these proportions look like anatomically. It is a more traditional dwarven.
So I think with the Nikua, the hands were too small, and that's why it was looking unproportional. With the hands being bigger, like these proportions are a lot better. These legs, I don't know. I feel like these legs maybe it's just this angle, but the legs seem a little too skinny. Like, I think they need to be thicker, but yeah. My man skipped leg day, yeah. Like, here, yeah. I feel like his legs are muscular, but they're just too skinny. Like, same amount of muscle, we just need to fatten them up a little bit.
Somebody said this is how...
like the
yeah, like look at this. This butt is sticking out way too far. It's gotta, yeah.
Somebody said this is how my 4-year-old looks when walking around the house.
Dude, your 4-year-old is buff, man.
It's a buff 4-year-old.
Yeah.
So, you know, as we said with the VEC, make sure you guys go and comment on Twitter, Discord, Reddit, our forums. Give us your feedback. Take a look at these, grab some screenshots of it. You know, give us kind of your feedback.
I love everything about this model, except for the legs just need to be a little bit thicker. The way the legs look are great. They just need to be thicker, but everything else, man, this guy looks freaking sick. Like, if I was going to be a dwarf, it would be something looking like this. Like some guy that looks like he would just run into battle and like kill hundreds of people.
Back on how these either met what your anticipated kind of influences for these races present, how awesome they look, or would you want to play one of these? You know, what type of customization options you would want to have. Obviously, the dwarves are going to have the most expansive beard customization options available. But you know, I really love how we've updated these character races. I think they look great.
Yeah. Female version as well for those lady dwarves out there.
Okay,
the hair
here's
doesn't
my
look as
idea
good
for the female version, by the way. You know, female dwarves, it's reported in Ashes that they're capable of having beards, right? But what do you think? Can we go back real quick 1 second to the previous to the previous image? Yeah, to the male.
Okay.
Notice on the male, does this one have the body hair? Yeah. Notice on the male, you can see elements of body hair all across, you know, patches of body hair there, right? And let's go back to the female. What do you guys think if we were to incorporate body hair in the same fashion across the female body as well? Is that something that is unique?
What do you guys think? First of all. Okay, yep. First of all, let's get the camera going. So I like the fact that the dwarves are like hairy. And I like the cam. I don't know, man. I don't know. How do we the female dwarves are already gonna have beards, okay? Like going back into like Tolkien lore and stuff, the lore said that they have beards. They're gonna have beards, okay? There's no going back on that. So now the question is, do we want hair on the rest of the body as well? I don't know. Honestly, I could really like it if the honestly, I would really like it if a game took that leap. Yeah, I don't know, like part of me thinks dwarves are just like these little hairy fur balls that carve holes in the mountains, you know? So I don't think I would mind there being hair. If they make it optional, I don't see why not. Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe just make it optional. So obviously they haven't done the level of hair on this model as they have on the other ones. But yeah.
Want to see on the as an option on the female
I think
so here's the thing I think this female model is missing.
Giving it as an option. I think there's a
I think the thing that this female model is missing is muscles. Like when I think of like female dwarves, I think of them as basically as muscular as the male dwarves. So I feel like if the arms were a bit bigger and she was a little bit more muscly, I think that would be a really good direction. Yeah, or Oracle, you agree with above, yeah.
Mix. I think if it's an option that people can toggle,
total option. Yeah,
I think that's cool.
Okay,
absolutely.
Just like ladies who want beards, like I know I want to be a dwarf with a beard, so I think it'd be cool to.
I think it would be great if as a character customization option for the female Duners, you had body hair as an option, and some of that body hair in certain locations could be braided. Like, what if they had armpit hair that was very long and had braids and like little ornaments adorned on the armpit?
How is that going to work with armor? You're making the character model artists go like.
Well, I mean, these would be these would be visible
holes?
if you take off. No, if you take off the armor, or yeah, you could have like maybe armor holes. I don't know. Or what if they had like tail hair, on the back or something, and it just kind of came out and was like a tail or something. I don't know. That'd be kind of interesting. I think.
You get into Toolnar territory there, Stephen.
I'm just theorizing, but these are the types of conversations that you guys can.
What hair braids? The chat's killing me.
These are
those asking, we will be cutting, we'll have the stream up on YouTube, and we'll also cut out little bits and pieces that we always post on social. So if you follow us on social media, I think all the links are down below right there. We'll be sharing a lot of little bits and pieces. So if you like more bite-sized content, that is always the best way to follow us and continue getting updates. But yeah.
Okay.
Are we ready to show the armor set stuff for the junior?
yeah, we can absolutely. I'm sorry, I got a little ahead of myself there, man. I just want you guys to have those conversations. Let us know your thoughts on it. I think it is water. Yes, this is water. It is not anything but water.
Yeah, he's drinking water.
The armor's pretty cool.
Tell people he's drinking water. So this is the I think tier 5 armor.
Yes. Is this
tier 5? How many tiers are there?
Tier 5 or tier 4?
It said tier 5.
It said tier 5. Okay, yeah. Yes. So this is an example of in-game achievable. This is fully modeled and completed top grade armor. And this is obviously a plate set that you're seeing. This is something that is an armor set you can achieve in game.
Okay.
Let us know in the comments and following up this, what your thoughts are on this in-game achievable armor compared.
So he's saying this is the top armor you can get. And I guess it's like a plate, like there's going to be lots of different armors and stuff. But I was thinking this isn't like the cool legendary stuff. This is like the top good stuff. But when I'm thinking of like a fantasy MMORPG, I kind of want some like particle effects, like maybe that's because other games have spoiled me when it comes to those visuals, and maybe it's more of a subdued visual concept for the armor in this game. But I kind of want my shoulders to be like glowing and on fire. Like I want something. I don't think he's saying this is the best in the game, right? This is just tier 5, so this is like up there with some of the better stuff. I don't know.
To some of the cosmetics, obviously, that we presented in the past, is this the level of armor that you're looking at and saying, damn, this is epic. Like this is the armor I would want to achieve. This does not incorporate visual effects. So excuse me.
Okay.
Some of the enchantment options that you have on weapons will present visual effects, glows, of blue and red colors. There's obviously going to be status conditions that can be applied as well, like as you might be CC'd or whatever. But from an enchantment perspective, you can have a glowing weapon as well, and this doesn't show that.
Okay.
All right. And last but not least, this is also still work in progress, but the Kalar Mal is being
and one other thing, by the way, about this armor set, and it's important to note. Oh, there we go. He doesn't have armor. He's naked. Yeah.
He's naked.
He's naked. One of the things about these armor sets that's important to note is that, we're not going for that visual appearance of really oversized, unrealistic looking kind of overly fantastical, armor pieces. Of course, we're going with super epic looking. We're going with, real ornate, kind of appearance. And I think this armor really does a great job of capturing that balance between what traditionally some MMO styles have, which is a little bit overly fantastical appearance of armors, but keeping it realistic and at the same time really epic and still ornate and complex.
What do you guys think about that? Do you think this strikes a good balance of being realistic as well as ornate and like fantastical? To me, maybe this is because I played World of Warcraft the most out of any MMORPG, but to me, this seems like it could be a little bit more fantastical. It sounds like there's going to be particle effects for the weapons, but I, to me, I feel like I want it to be a little bit more fantastical. Now, if I step back and I set my expectations for the game of being like, hey, we're going for a more realistic vibe, then okay, like I don't mind it. This armor, don't get me wrong, this armor looks really cool. But I'm just wondering, like, if there's a whole bunch of people with more realistic looking armor everywhere, like, how do you stand out? Like, the way you stand out and you feel really good in an MMORPG is when you have, like, a helmet that's like a freaking dragon's head, and there's, like, fire coming out of the eyes, and you're, like, walking around and you're like, yeah, I have the best helmet in the game. Like, look at this. You guys all just have these, like, metal helmets with little horns and mohawks. I have a freaking dragon's head on, and it's, like, glowing with fire and lava, and, like, that's... I don't know. I hope they have items like that that are just so incredibly legendary that they just make you stand out. I think that's my main concern, is how do I show off that I'm just, like, a way better player than you when we all have, like, pretty realistic metal armor on, you know?
That has progression to that gear appearance, right? Not only that, but it's important to note, like, gear is also a part of the silhouette, right? This is another threat assessment component. When you're coming across players, you know, you're taking a look, oh, okay, I'm aware this guy has a full set on that is the, you know, top grade kind of gear that is noticeable at a distance.
Okay.
I like somebody said threat level midnight. That's great.
All right, I will swap over to our Kalar male here, who is still work in progress. He's in his T-pose, so he's got his scary scary eyes.
The Kalar.
Oh, yeah.
But
yeah, so these are just
seeing a lot of changes.
This is just adjustments on the body. Excuse me, on the body. Shit. Sorry. Hold on.
Steven's got his cough. Don't
All
worry.
right.
He's had a cough for a long time.
Yeah, I know. I'm totally fine.
I just before new people come in and they're concerned with like they
No. The problem is that I am talking literally all day long, constantly, and unfortunately sometimes that irritates my throat a little bit. But I'm not sick or anything. Anyways, what you're seeing here is obviously these are updates to the Kalar body, the base body. You know, these are important. You may not really notice as much, but these are you know, passes that character team is doing on that body, on the face, on what that mid-level body type looks like, and then these are from this point is where you're going.
Like the Kalar are the humans, right? These are like the classic humans. This is like Alliance humans. I think it looks pretty good. Again, he seems skinny to me. I don't know if it's the legs that are skinny. Maybe that's how, like, in shape people look, and I just haven't. Yeah, like, maybe this looks good. But overall, yeah, I'm down. I personally appreciate realism, but hope they can add some super fantastical options that can be chosen. Maybe the visual can be changed while keeping the stats of another, if preferred. Yeah, maybe, like... So what you're talking is sort of like you have a cosmetic appearance, or like you can have armor that just shows cosmetically while you have other armor that is just actually giving you the stats. Yeah, I wonder if they're gonna have something like that. I'm not exactly sure. Oktar Ogar? Yeah. Yeah, so we'll have to see, like, we'll have to see if they add in transmog. And there's, like, fantastical stuff in the game. Like, they showed us a cloak. Like, in another stream, they showed us a cloak that was basically, like, octopus. Like, it had octopus arms, and the back was just, like, octopus tentacles. So there's definitely, like, high fantasy stuff. And the size of the armor didn't bother me. Like, the size was good. I just want there to be cooler armor sets than just like plain metal ones, if you know what I mean.
Going to get that character customization options. You're going to be able to play with, the size of the calves and the thighs and the, musculature, how toned and defined is the body versus some of the lengths and proportions on the limbs. But you can also see updates here to the skin. You can see updates here to the face. You can see updates here to body definition. These are starting to get to a place where, I think is a very compelling character race, right? And is on the same par as any AAA, MMORPG that you guys have experience with, that we've had experience with in the past.
That's true.
So, I think it's looking really good.
Yeah, it's looking very good. And we'll be showing more stuff as we progress every month.
Oh, is this?
You guys are going to continually see more.
Somebody
updates.
said this is the Asmonbald character.
Stephen.
No.
Next up, we've got some amazing new character art as well. From this was made by Eli. This is the Regalia of the Plated Heart, which is
Eli did a great job with this set.
Yeah, very interesting set, because it's one of those things where you're going to a gala but you want to make sure that you're armored still.
Yeah, almost that gold, that gilded armor piece on the females, almost full body dress there. I think that one of my favorite things is, of course, it's tricky with animation sometimes, but having that full kind of canopy-esque looking dress piece is really cool. I love the flow of it from an animation perspective in game. Of course, sometimes it's difficult as the feet try to clip into the to the armor itself, but I know that our cloth our cloth simulated physics and whatnot, those types of pieces are usually shine.
And then I have the turntable for this, so you can see the 3D model.
I think it's pretty cool.
Dancing a little bit, like they're on those carousels. You know what I mean? When I'm talking about, where you spin those up and they're just dancing.
It looks like, and these are the Vaylune too. So you're getting to see some more racial stuff that if you're paying attention, you can see.
This is the Vaylune character race.
Yeah. So you're kind of getting to see more of it as it's coming to fruition. Next up, we have the Salt Spine, a big chunky boy.
Ooh.
Looking amazing.
This was, John looked at this guy and loved this guy. And I looked at it too, and I was like, wow, this guy, he's pretty cool. Was it Danny that did this one?
This one is Danny, yeah.
Yeah, Danny did a great job. This mount is just unbelievable.
Is
this
pretty
an
cool.
in-game achievable?
No, this is a cosmetic.
It's a cosmetic. Okay.
Yeah.
It looks great. I mean, wow. I would love to ride that. I want him to be super slow and regal in his movements. You know what I mean? He looks like a royal mount. So on the animation side, I know that they're obviously going to share with the scale runner and stuff, but if there was a way we could kind of slow down his idle at least and give him just kind of like a "you're beneath me" attitude, I think that would fit perfectly with his persona.
Well, that makes sense because he is a noble steed. So I'm glad that came across to you.
Okay.
Because that is that's how I believe this one I worked with Scott to design.
Nice.
Yeah, the set.
Yeah. I love the horn works on the face as well.
Yeah. Scott had a really cool theme for this, because this was all obviously most of the set is very Nikuan if you check it out. It was part of the Home Waters.
Oh, is that true? Z said his name is Frank. Is it Frank?
They've been naming him Frank in the community.
Okay.
All right. Next up, we've got some stuff from Jinsey. This is first the Embered Kit, which you've seen the Fox of the Pyre.
The little baby
These
foxes.
are the babies.
Oh.
Yeah. These are little pets.
Look at the little fur babies.
Now we're going to show off an in-game achievable.
So those are the pets that kind of just follow you around. They don't have any in-game relevance or like mechanical features, right? They're not going to interact with enemies or yourself, but they're just going to like, stand at your feet and follow you. They'll like lick their paws in animation and clean themselves or something, right? These guys look great. I mean,
it's cool that you can have pets.
Super awesome. Cute. They're
just for like cosmetics.
This next one is an in-game achievable item. Dun dun.
Whoa, cool.
Zillius said that that's a waste of FPS. Somebody ban Zillius from chat, please. No, I'm just kidding. You're entitled to your opinion.
This is our hippo friend, also made by Jinsey.
I kind of like it. I like the hippo mount.
So you can kind of see the two.
Yeah, that's a big boy and girl as well. I think that's a big girl. She's got a lot of jewelry on her.
Well, boys can wear jewelry, but I think
that's true.
Other body parts are telling that it might be a female.
I'm looking at her fingernails, and she has them kind of painted and long. So
yes,
I'm thinking,
the fingernails. That's what. That's what it is.
That gave it away. Also, she's got very pretty little eyelashes.
Aww.
It's pretty cool.
Dude, hippos are dangerous.
Hippos are dangerous.
They're very dangerous.
I think the first time I saw hippos as a kid was in the movie Congo. When they got attacked by the hippos, and like,
I think it's looking pretty good.
Forward, I knew that hippos were dangerous, and if I ever came across one, to steer clear. But
oh my god, yeah, their jaws are just super strong. They can just like crush things, and with like no effort, they're just like hump and eats it. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, you know, have you ever seen the videos of like hippos eating full watermelons?
Yes, it's cool.
Yes, it is super cool. They just chomp those things down.
People are wondering if this will be a group mount. I think it's just a singular, like you just sit on it, but
it's a
yeah, I think it looks pretty sweet. Like I really love the saddle and like this cool like ornate cover. I really like that. The mount itself looks nice too.
Single mount.
I like that it's an in-game achievable as well.
This is an in-game achievable.
Oh, this is an in-game achievable mount. So again, comparatively, guys, I know a lot of times in the past, you know, people have been wanting to see some of the in-game achievable stuff. We try to keep the in-game achievable stuff relatively close to the chest because that's stuff we want you to discover and be excited about. But here's an example of the complexities and just the ornateness of this mount comparatively, right? But this is a really cool looking mount. I love hippos, and I can't wait to see the animation behind it too.
All right. With that, we're gonna wrap things up with going through our Q&A. We're still a little over.
What do you call a curious question? What do you call a group of hippos?
A group of hippos? I'll look it up. I don't know.
Is it like a murder of hippos, a flock of hippos?
Is called.
I think it's maybe a flock, pod.
It's called a bloat, a pod, or a herd.
Oh, a bloat of.
Bloat
of hippos.
Cool.
A bloat of hippos. A bloat of hippos. I like it. All right, going into Q&A. Our first question here is from Sia Curry. Kiri? I don't know if I'm saying your names right. Let me know. And they want to know about nodes. Once a node goes into lockout after a siege, can the quest to obtain a siege scroll still be completed, or is it locked out for the time period?
It's a very good question. So as it stands now, the quest for that node can still be completed. However, there is a time limit for those scrolls. So if you select, I think if you select that node still as a target for that scroll, it's possible that you would have the lifetime of that scroll would be under the lockout of the node. So it's possible you could waste that. We might change that in the future. I'm sure that design is going to want to revisit that. So don't hold me to it right now. It might be locked
and I know
out.
you guys you didn't want people to gamify it where like you're holding on to scrolls.
Correct.
You know, because
Yep.
then you just like have everyone have a bunch of scrolls and just hold on to them. It's not ideal.
That makes sense.
Magma Kitten wants to know about naval content. Will there be a dark lake of rivers or any expanse of naval content included within the Underrealms?
That's a very good question.
Ooh.
Not for now. And I wouldn't rule out the opportunity for something along those lines in the future with an expansion or an update.
Yeah.
But at the moment, no, there's not a plan for Underrealm naval.
That'd be so cool though, like because there is an underrealm in this game, which is like a series of tunnels and caves underneath everything, and it would be cool to have like a giant, expansive black lake or something. That's a really good point.
Activity.
Right, and then Songrune wants to know about Bard gameplay. In the interview with MMORPG, Stephen mentioned again the formations for bards. Will this be primarily a way that bards buff their teams?
I'm not sure if it's going to be primarily. It is definitely going to be incorporated as certain for certain skills, certain abilities. Those might be those might be more key abilities, right? Higher tier abilities, but it probably will not be the primary function of the bard's role, requiring formation related buffs every time they attempt to buff the party.
Okay.
And then Pete Nasty wants to know about utility skills. Could you elaborate on the potential of stealth when it comes to both utility and combat?
Yo, thank you, Guitar Dust. That's a pretty cool name. Thank you for subscribing, man. I hope you're enjoying the content.
I'm sorry. Say that.
Let me just go back a little bit.
Could you elaborate on the potential of stealth when it comes to both utility and combat?
Okay.
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
Could you elaborate on the potential of stealth when it comes to both utility and combat?
Both utility and combat. Yeah, I think one of the things about stealth that's really important is, and this is oftentimes in other games that we played, is, take the take the encounter with a boss or with NPCs. If you draw aggro, you draw hate because of perhaps maybe some of the damage that you're doing, or you need to kind of clear that hate or dip out of the fight momentarily. Stealth would be a great utility component to achieve that goal. Additionally, from a combat perspective, of course, stealth is a huge tool when it comes to kind of sneaking up on a target, not being easily detected, staying on the fringes of the fight, and choosing your time to engage. I mean, those are the elements of stealth that we want to incorporate. If you're trying to navigate past, NPC enemies to make it down to a group in a dungeon, and you're a class that has stealth available to you, it's a great utility mechanic for you to avoid aggro of those monsters as you're moving down.
Right. Yeah. That's cool.
Our next question is from Jeremy, and they want to know about group.
Hey, just for to remind us, the rogues have a lot more going for them than just stealth, right? So there's going to be certain places and dungeons that only rogues have access to. I don't know if that's because it's a series of obstacles that only a rogue can get through, or whether the rogue is the only one that can detect a magical door or something like that. But it's the rogue provides a lot of utility to your group besides him being able to go into stealth. He's also going to be able to unlock passages and get you into places that you wouldn't be able to get to regardless. You wouldn't be able to get to without him.
Group mount. Right. Our next question is from Jeremy, and they want to know about group mounts. How are group mounts different from regular mounts in regards to unlocking or obtaining them?
When it comes to unlocking and obtaining, you can probably imagine that group mounts are going to be a little bit more in-depth and rarer. These are mounts that have additional mechanics associated with the number of people that can ride them. They might have certain types of weapon systems on those riding points that players can utilize. In that sense, these are going to be more rare. They are going to be more difficult to obtain.
Think about the elephants in Lord of the Rings, right? These giant elephants, there's 5 people on them. Elephants got spikes. The people on top are throwing spears and shooting arrows. It would be really cool. Yeah, it'd be really cool to have, because there's more mechanics to mounts than just riding around. They're going to have abilities. Like you said, there might be weapon points. So it'd be really cool to have teams of people on these giant mounts that you've farmed out together with your guild or something. And you're sieging a castle. That'd be really, really fun. I think rogue with mage secondary should be the ones to detect magical doors. Yeah, you may be right. I think that's a good point. Maybe depending on what class you choose, delegates on what doors can be revealed or what obstacles you can get through. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Okay. And to reiterate, because people are like, there's not going to be any stealth. He wasn't saying that there's not going to be stealth. It's just more that it's part of a class, like an archetype feature.
There absolutely is stealth. Stealth is 100% an option in the game. It's not going to render yourself or the individual who uses the stealth completely obscured. You're still going to be able to identify. There's going to be utility skills that can reveal stealth from a PvP perspective. There's going to be perceptions that certain NPCs have that can see through stealth, like tremor sense or life sense. There are elements and mechanics that relate to stealth and how it is balanced in the game. It's not going to be similar to stealth that's found in other games where the target is rendered completely invisible. They can make it past every enemy, NPC, or monster. They can use stealth at all times. These are elements that is a tit for tat. These are components of class kits that are going to have corresponding counters as it relates to other classes as well.
One of my favorite things is when we were kind of showing off some of our combat through Apocalypse, is that people would change into like structures in the world, and people would be like, "Oh, that's just a fountain," and then you'd be like going by, and then it comes out and ganks you. It was intriguing to have that kind of stealth. I don't think I've seen a ton in MMOs. Our next question.
So she's just saying that'd be a cool idea, or she's saying that that's going to be an option, like you can turn into other objects? I'm not sure.
And is going to be from Emberstone, and it's about building cosmetics. How will homestead skins affect the space available for furniture?
How will affect the space available for furniture? So furniture, so the space available for furniture should be relatively similar between building types. That at least we'll try to make sure that that's the case. When it comes to how furniture is incorporated as part of your layout and allotment, these are going to be hard numerical values that are based on the building type that you have, right? So the larger the home, the more furniture pieces you can have. From a space perspective, that's something that's accounted for in the modeling of the actual building.
Yeah, and when it comes to if you put like a cosmetic house on top of your normal house, those cosmetics should be similar in size. The shape will change, right? So maybe the room layout will be different, but it'll.
I don't know about you guys, but I've never really been into like housing in MMORPGs. Again, maybe that's because World of Warcraft doesn't have it, but it doesn't seem like something super interesting to me. I know in Final Fantasy, like housing is a huge deal. Same with like Elder Scrolls Online. And I could see it being kind of fun, but I'm not as into that. I think I'm more into like the gear grind, the gear chase, raids, giant group content, whether that's with guild or like with you guys on the stream. Like I think that's the stuff I'm mainly interested in.
Still be like a one-store building, right? And putting it on.
Correct.
We'll have more details about those things coming. I think I actually had a chat with the design team. They're kind of fleshing some stuff out, and then Steven's going to approve it or change things. And then I'll be coming back to give you guys a little bit more detail on what specifically the cosmetics that we've sold will be able to go on. So you have a little bit more context, because I know there's a lot of questions regarding that. And I mentioned this on the forums as well. Our next question here is from Lavitz Slambert, and they want to know about racial lore. Will we be given naming conventions based on the individual races and cultures?
At some point, yes. Again, we're wanting to keep a lot of that stuff pretty close to the chest. Of course, it's not something we can keep close to the chest forever. As we enter into Alpha 2 and into our betas, that stuff is going to be revealed. And I would look forward to those future dates for more information on it.
All right. And the next...
Wait, what was the question? Is there going to be like naming conventions? Is that like a title your character has, or is that like your character can only use these symbols when you're naming them? Like, I don't know. I love that name. Legend of Dragon needs a remake. I've never played that game. Yeah, it'll be interesting.
This question is about um, mount combat, and they would like to know, will mounts have the ability to charge slash trample, or will players be able to use lances or mounts? And this comes from Nayrock.
That's a good
Yes, there will be a
question.
number of different combat feature skills on mounts. It kind of depends on the particular mount, its breed, and sometimes a little bit of RNG aspects to the creation of these mounts and your acquisition of them. But they'll have abilities like charging through opponents, being able to knock those opponents down. They'll have defensive capabilities. They'll have utility capabilities. They might have specific abilities that do create a lance while you're mounted on the target. These are all ideas that are within the realm of possibility and have been discussed by the design team and incorporated as part of our layout for mounts and skills. But as we narrow those things down and test them, you'll get a better picture of what types of things are available on mounts in the future.
I really like the fact that mounts have abilities and like participate. Even they've said in the past too that even when you unmount, you can still have your mount there helping you out. I don't know whether that's like fighting or carrying stuff for you, but mounts are on a whole other level in this game. Like they have their own skill tree. You can level them up. There's like different breeds and like branches of breeds where they each have different abilities or different stats. Like mounts and the animal husbandry system in this game is going to be really fleshed out. It's probably the number one system I'm most looking forward to participating in.
All right. And then our last one here is from Dabs16, and they would like to know about node corruption. To what extent will the corrupted areas affect the node if the players decide not to deal with it? And does it have a limit, or can corruption go as far as to destroy nodes?
Corruption can go as, if players don't address corruption, corruption can go as far to increase the frequency of NPC-driven events against the node. Those NPC-driven events can disable certain node buildings, features, and services. Disabling those node buildings, features, and services make the node susceptible to sieges and the ability for players to destroy nodes. So it can be a very detrimental thing if corruption is not addressed. And that's the intent of corruption, is to present a challenge to the players that, if not addressed, it becomes exacerbated and really a problem over time.
All right. And we do have a few more if you have time, but I know we are a little over time, so we can wrap out as well.
Give me a second, guys. Let's fix this camera. So yeah. Yeah. I'll have to do some troubleshooting to try to fix that. I don't know why it just stops every once in a while.
Can take one more.
Okay, one more. I will just go in the order that the bonus questions are here. So this one is from Garen, and they want to know about armor cosmetics. When it comes to the transition to Unreal Engine 5, what is your favorite armor set you are excited to see within the new engine?
Oh, wow.
I don't think it changes anything.
I mean, visually,
maybe, yeah.
Well, the interaction with the lighting and lumen is going to change the appearance of materials and assets in game, as we could have seen with our December presentation of the UE5 level. What set am I most excited about? That's a very good question. I don't think I've ever been asked that. Oh man, I don't know. That's a toughie.
We can go on to the next one.
Yeah, and I guess I'll just answer real quick.
I like them all.
Yeah, I like more cloth-based sets. I really like the movement and simulation of cloth within the game. So any set that has kind of long, adornments of cloth that are present, I think you asked the character team, the sets that I've probably more interacted with in their completion has been the cloth ones. But I don't know, I kind of, but at the same time, like looking at that Dwarven armor, that plate armor is just awesome. Like I look at that and I'm like, wow. So but I tend to gravitate more towards cloth. We can take one more. That was a non-developer.
I just was going around in the order. Disobedient would like to know about crafting and alchemy specifically. Can I create my own original potion and keep the recipe secretly for myself?
That's a good question. At the moment, there has definitely, let me say this, there has been some designers who have advocated for that specifically. There is a level of complexity that adds to the crafting system. I'm not opposed to that.
Really cool though.
It's possible we may see something like that in the future. I was actually just having a conversation with Corey a little while ago about the idea of like storage for certain alchemical items or food related items, and how the freshness might play into the efficacy of that particular item, how furniture could help store those things and augment that. Like, do we have a refrigeration or an ice box for like, keeping meat preserved or something? I'm not sure if we're going to get that granular. I'm not sure if we're going to allow unique recipes that can kind of be hidden right now. I think we're definitely going to have rare recipes. We're going to have a very active recipe market. That how players find them and how they discover them is going to be very diverse. It's not just going to be drop oriented. It's going to be discovery, adventurism, treasures, repetition of a particular activity that might yield something, deconstruction that might learn how to, create a recipe. There's a lot of different functionality that's present that's going to be utilized. But we'll have to see about that.
All right. And I think, to go back to the other question, I had a little think about it, Garen, a little bit more. And I think I still love the Face of Sorrow outfit. It's one of my favorites. I love tanking or healing. So I usually end up being like some kind of cleric or some kind of paladin or something. So wearing heavy armor is my jam. But I think that set is just badass. And I'm sure it's going to look really cool in Unreal Engine 5 as well. All right. With that, we are wrapping up our...
Guys, I'm pretty excited about this. I'm excited for this game and the update. I don't know what was happening with my camera. Like, I hope I can figure that out so it won't be a problem in the future. Let's do this. So yeah, I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts? I really liked the video. I like the progress they're making. The orc race that's kind of up right now is I don't know how I feel about it. It doesn't give off orc vibes. It just gives off like a mutant human vibe. But yeah, hopefully as we learn about like classes and we see more of the orc customization, we'll get some more like actual orc looking people and stuff. WK, cool scene change, dude. Thanks, man. Yeah, we're in the bunker right now. I want to like reveal you guys the updates that we have to the bunker system. I want to show you the cool dance studio that we've been building in Blender for the last couple times. But I'm gonna save that. We're gonna be coming out with a video in a week or so. And all of my behind the scenes footage is on Patreon anyway. So if you guys want to see that, you can see it over there. Game seems super neat. Glad I picked today to tune in. Thanks, man. Yeah, I wish there was more exciting. It was a more exciting video. We kind of just looked at some of their art and the updates they have with their art, but there's a lot more going on. You know what? They have another video. Let's watch this. Oh, they put in chapters too. Yeah. So they have another video that will show off the actual gameplay. Here. They just revealed this. They just switched to Unreal Engine 5. And he actually walked through this with his character too. This is like one zone, a little snow zone. Cool ice monster. It's so cool. So this is like one little place in the game, this like snow place. And I think they built this place mainly to show off Lumen, like the cool Unreal Engine 5 lighting and stuff. All of these assets were built in Unreal Engine 4 and they brought into Unreal Engine 5. So the fidelity of these assets are definitely going to increase over time. Like they'll make these things look better over time. Seeing that they upgraded, but it's looking really cool. This right here is just a little preview of it. But if we go back to here, let's see. In this video, he actually walks around through it.
Let us fly.
Yeah, before he...
But it is beautiful. And you know, beautiful.
So yeah, this kind of gives you like a taste, like it's all built out and everything. I'm trying to think if it's a little laggy because of my end, but it's completely built out. Oh God, it's functional, like the game is looking really, really cool. Let's see. I think he like flies through it.
Is this the tower reveal? That, my friends, is a tower. You know,
yeah.
The levels inside and the dungeon that lies beneath this.
It's pretty cool.
A lot of lies.
I love the way the ice looks.
Let us fly.
This mount is pretty sweet as well. It's like a fall leaf dragon. It's pretty cool. So yeah, like there's a lot to this game. Yeah. I don't know. I'm pretty excited for it. It's like one of the few games that I'm really looking forward to. The main thing I'm worried about is the hype train is pretty big, so I'm wondering if we're gonna have like a No Man's Sky situation where they just promise so much and then it doesn't get delivered. And then the second thing is they're not wanting to show us any of the in-game assets. Like they're really keeping secret a lot of like the armor sets and the mounts. And they show us stuff like once in a while. But the majority of stuff they're showing us is just cosmetics because they've already released those to the public. So I am worried that the cosmetics are going to be cooler than the actual in-game stuff. Like, you don't have to buy the game. The game is free. It does have a monthly subscription, though. And then on top of that, they have a cosmetic store. And I'm just hoping the cosmetic store isn't as intense as they could make it. You know, like I'm wanting it. I don't care if there's like okay cosmetics, but I just want the coolest looking stuff in the game to be achievable in the game. Because cosmetics are like one of the main reasons you play MMORPGs. It's the fun of like showing off your achievements through cosmetics and things that you've earned. And if they make that all purchasable, then it's not going to be fun. So yeah. But yeah. Hey guys. I think I'm going to call it there. Thank you so much for tuning into this live stream. I really like this update, and I like seeing all these familiar faces here. Yeah. Cosmetics is prestige, yeah, but no game dev cares. In the past, they've mentioned that the in-game stuff will always be better than the cosmetics, which gives me hope. Like, visually better. But they just haven't showed us any of that yet, so I'm kind of just optimistically, like, waiting for them to, but we'll see. That's what I'm thinking too. Thanks for showing it off. Yeah, for sure. So guys, like, thank you so much for stopping in this live stream. Like, I had a lot of fun. Let's go. I maybe will live stream later today. I think we're gonna start playing like Valheim or something. I've never played it before, but I'm not sure about that. Really what you guys should be looking forward to is, you know what? I can't wait. I can't wait. I have to show you guys. Check this out. You know what? I'm gonna make you guys wait. I'm sorry. I have this really cool scene, the dance studio that we've been working on. It's completely done, and I'm loving it. But we're gonna save it as a surprise. So, thank you so much, guys. We're gonna call it there. V Rising, let's go. Yeah. Hey, Reese Thompson. Thank you for subscribing, man. I hope you're enjoying the content. So yeah. Anyway, guys. Once again, thank you for watching. Grab some popcorn on your way out. And as always,